I'm quite shocked that the Bristol Council haven't sorted this and moved them on. This is what gives us all a bad name. Failed. It doesn't take long to work out it's failed, does it? The bill.
The invoice.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big one.
Good morning. So we thought we better let you know what we've been up to lately. Excuse me while I come out because it's a bit icy today. Not such a great start to the new year for us again, and typically we spent it in the vets. Dolly was in last night having a procedure, and this morning unfortunately we have to take her over to Bristol to the specialist hospital. So Redders is just defrosting the car, and we're going to head over there. So we'll tell you a bit more about it on the journey. All right?
Aye.
So I don't know if you can hear us above the blowers, but not the best start to the new year that we've had. In fact, it was almost identical to last year.
It was New Year's Day. The only difference this year is there's a bit of ice up about. Cold fingers and defrost.
It was much more expensive. In fact, we'll
Yeah.
discuss that later. But
Yeah, it's not going to be a cheap day out, is it?
yesterday was not a cheap day, and today is definitely not going to be a cheap day. But we've explained before, Dolly has had bladder problems since she was a puppy. She's got a weird anatomy. She's had several operations throughout her life, and the final one she had was where they fitted a device inside her to stop urinary incontinence. Now that was about 3 years ago. It was in the middle of COVID anyway, so 3-4 years ago. We've had problems. Remember we had to cancel our last trip or come home because we thought she had a UTI, and it turns out it wasn't, but the problem has just got worse since then. And yesterday we noticed she just couldn't wee at all, and took her to the vets, emergency, New Year's Day, and they scanned her and they couldn't actually get the entire bladder onto the screen. It was that big.
In all fairness to the vets, it was New Year's Day. They did try and keep the cost down.
They did.
But the first thing they sort of ask is she insured? And by the way, because it's a bank holiday, it's £220 to see a vet.
Yeah. Dolly, to answer that question, is no longer insured. Now, there's a very good reason for that. It's not because we're careless, because she was always insured. Her operations over the last years to have this device fitted was £14,000 paid for by insurance. Unfortunately, that shot her premiums up. And what that meant was it was just absolutely impractical. We were talking hundreds of pounds a month just to keep her insured for that problem. So we just couldn't pay that. We just didn't have that sort of monthly money. So we cancelled her insurance. We put her insured with another company, but it basically meant that this issue is no longer covered because it's pre-existing, and we just had to cross our fingers and hope for the best. Now she's 10, her premiums have shot up again, and she's just not insured anymore because we just could not afford the monthly costs for one dog, and it ran into a couple of £100 a month just for insurance for Dolly alone.
Yeah, that's...
So we couldn't. So it was just like, right, well, we're just gonna have to take our chances. And plus, it wasn't full insurance anymore either because it was all co-pays. So the most we could ever hope to get was about 30% back. So all in all, always insure your dog, but it is understandable once they get to an age, it is no longer possible. It's great if you're in Europe because you can see vets there where it's cheaper. But you see, what Dolly's got is so rare. Most vets in Europe, when we've spoken to them about it, or they felt her device, haven't got a clue what it is. So it wouldn't have helped us if we were in Europe this time because they wouldn't have known what's inside her. So anyway, we're on the road. So Let's go in for our appointment, Dolly. No, I don't think so. So with Dolly dropped off at BVS, we then had 4.5 hours to kill. So we decided to go into Bristol and get some lunch. Pippa. Bit of a lunch out, isn't it?
Yes, it takes the edge off of a not so good day.
Yeah. So we are in one of the lounges, Ritorno Lounge in Bristol. So just stopped to have some lunch.
Yeah, and very nice it was too. So that's taken the edge off of a bad day so far. So
Yeah. Dolly's been dropped off. I should probably do this afterwards. Actually, there's music in
Yeah,
here, and we
we'll
don't
do
want
it.
to strike. So we'll catch you outside when we've finished our drinks. Sorry, I've got to have this at a really weird angle because if I go any more forward, I'm completely whited out by the sun, as you can see on my hand. We're sitting up the Downs. Redders is having a coffee and a little Kit Kat.
a little bitty Kit Kat.
Yeah, snacks, keep the energy up. We just had a phone call about Dolly. It's kind of tentatively good news. She's had her scan and they found nothing sinister inside. But what they've had to do, her device has been fully deflated just to see what happens next. So basically we're going to collect her, take her home. Potentially this morning the device was coming out and that was serious surgery, but that's not going to happen this time. If we take her back and she's still having trouble, then she will have to come back to Bristol and they will remove the device. You're going to have to forgive us if we have to do advertising or reviews or anything, because this is a big bill and it's our only way of covering it. So if you do see more reviews than normal coming up, just know that we've had a big bill.
Yeah, put up with it. We've got a few power banks that we're going to be listing as well.
Yeah, so if anyone's in the market for a power bank, let us know. We've got a few to sell. Anyway, so I had a wander around Bristol. It was not what we remember.
Not what I remember, and perhaps not what you would expect. You know, it was in its day, it was a vibrant town, lots of shops, the big names. Now it's nail bars, phone shops, bake shops, and lots of vintage clothing shops. I guess there's a university demand for that.
I know, but it's just high price second-hand charity shop stuff, isn't it? It's just you stick vintage on something and then you just double the price of what a charity shop would.
Exactly that. So I think I wanted to come back because when I was a kid, I remember it well. We've been to the centre of Bristol a few times and it was a nice trip. Today it was a trip to kill some time, but it was scruffy,
dirty,
lots of homeless people asking for money and just sat there in the cold. Shame to see.
And it was, oh my god, it's so cold today.
Yeah.
We had to I had to buy another hat because my ears were I had terrible earache, and then I had to buy he forgot his gloves, so I bought a hat and glove set. So
I got some gloves that sparkle in the sunshine. Happy days.
Anyway, we're up on the Downs to like I said, have a coffee, and we're quite shocked. I can't believe, obviously this is a caravan and motorhome. They've just all come and they're living here. They're everywhere. I'll turn the camera around so you can see in a moment. And
this hasn't just happened. This is, they've built
outside things,
outside structures.
Yeah, there's one over there, and it's built a shed next to its caravan, and it's on the road on the Downs. It's absolutely crazy. The one right in front of us here has got a little metal shed thing.
Yeah, he's got a couple of wheel hubs on there, so he's been doing a bit of mechanic work. We're in proximity to £1 million+ homes.
Yeah, and it's honestly, it looks awful. So if you live in Clifton or whatever, I'm sorry, but I feel for you, because the downs were beautiful, but this honestly looks rough.
But we could bring the motorhome up and park up and be amongst it.
I wouldn't get out of the motorhome though and leave it. It doesn't feel safe. Look, it really does look awful.
Yeah, it does.
I'll show you. Yeah, so this is the van in front. We're in a great big long line of vans. This just happens to be the one in front, and as you can see there, he's got a little structure. But it's this one over here, look. Can you see him? This caravan, and he's got like a little shed built next to it, and there's a little barbecue outside. And then, as far as the eye can see up that road, are more caravans and motorhomes and vans. And behind us on this road is exactly the same amount again. We can't see over the brow of the hill, but I'm going to assume there's more there anyway. So,
and oddly enough, if you look, there's not many tow cars in front of the caravans. I think,
no, they're living here.
They've been pitched up for so long.
I'm quite shocked that the Bristol Council haven't sorted this and moved them on.
Oh, sorry, Wilf is sorting it. It's okay.
You sorting it, Wilf?
He's on the case.
Are you sorting it, Wilfie? Wilfie and Pippa have had a lovely day. They've really enjoyed it. They had a walk around Bristol. They quite liked that. They enjoyed it. Christmas market's still on in Bristol.
Yeah, the Christmas market's still there. There's a fun fair. The kids are still off. There was dodgems and all sorts there. So the watershed or the dock area, yeah, that's worth a visit. But of course, if you park in the car.
I know, there's dogs behind having a run, and he's like, why am I not having a run?
Because you've had a huge walk.
Yeah, grr. Oi!
But yeah, you can park in the centre of Bristol, which is where we did, and it's about £3.50 an hour. So the longer you stay, there isn't any flex on that. It's just £3.50 an hour in the car park we were in. Other places you can stop, but that's what you pay premium. Cheaper than other places, but worth it. The docks and Baltic Wharf, definitely.
Yeah, that's the nicest
City centre.
Park Street, Clifton.
Shame.
All, that's all the nice part. But we'd not been to the city centre for a while, and it was incredible how much rubbish was there. And I have to say, we did see an enforcement officer pulling someone, food obviously littered at some point. But
yeah, I think she put a cigarette out on the floor, and he just came across and said, "Hello, my name is such and such from Bristol City Council," and that was it, littering. So she probably got fined for that, or told off, whatever they do.
He needs to get himself up here and sort this lot out.
Yeah.
This is what gives us all a bad name, when we all park along, and this sort of thing is what people see, and this is why they're going to stop us just parking up and having a nice tootle around town and then disappearing again the next day, because these lot are turning up and settling down. And it's almost, it's not travellers, I don't think. I don't know what it is.
Just outside.
It's not, I don't think it's a travellers camp.
Just outside my window, there's an old cupboard, and so I don't know if you can see that, but that's just outside.
That's just outside. Look, we're on the downs. You see beautiful Bristol Downs, and it's just what is happening.
It's a dumping ground, isn't it?
It's an absolute dumping ground.
Yeah.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
In 200 yards, your destination will be on the left.
There we are.
There's the door in.
And there. It's like a P&O pet range in here.
Yes, got a TV. Tea and coffee.
Tea and coffee.
Softening you up for
The bill.
the invoice.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big one.
Yeah. But it's all got its own little cubicles. And little dogs' beds in each one. So, yeah, Very, very fancy. And we've brought the other two in because we knew they'd create if we left them in the van. In the car.
Yeah, I think Will would chew up the steering wheel, so I need something to turn the wheels with.
Yeah.
Rubber.
Sitting on his dad's lap. So we've brought them in so we can both hear what the deal is with Dolly. So, yeah. Oh, there we go. So, just wait for to get called through and
Pippa's trying her hardest to get out.
Pippa is settling down on the bed.
I got your message. I'm sorry to hear that hasn't done the trick.
Yeah, we had nothing last night, nothing this morning, even waiting, the 15-20 minutes with the diazepam.
Yeah, I think we will need to remove the implant, really.
Yeah, I think that's the only way forward, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't see an alternative, really. And yeah, I think we should probably do that straight away, really. Do it as soon as possible.
Good morning. Guess what? Yep, we're on our way back to Bristol. Failed. It doesn't take long to work out it's failed, does it?
No, unfortunately. Poor thing.
Getting the keys
Home, couldn't we? This morning, can't
Yeah.
we?
So today we are heading back to Bristol, and the beauty of expensive medicine, they're getting us straight in because it's an emergency situation, and her implant is coming out at massive expense.
Yeah.
This is eye-watering, absolutely eye-watering. To this point now, for the last 2 days, we're into multiple thousands already. This is going to be even more on top.
But it's not a cry for help
No.
in any way. Please don't think that. It's just purely people have asked, so
Yeah.
we're just letting you know. We can pay for this. We'll sort it. It's not us openly scrounging. Please don't think that. It's not that at all. It's
absolutely not.
It's just an insight into what we're up to today.
Yeah, in fact, the thing we do need to say is we are fortunate, we do understand that, but because of the fact we have a channel, we have the ability to make extra money. Now, unfortunately, you are going to have to bear with us because we'll be taking, we'll be doing various power banks, things like that. But as always, don't worry, it won't go into the main content. It will have its own video. So if you are not interested, you don't have to watch it. Oh goodness, that's a low sound. Oh, that's actually not too bad there. The way you can help us though is just by sticking with us.
Yeah, if you can stick with us, and just the views are what count, and it's the views that help, and that's how we get paid from YouTube, by everybody watching. So
Yeah.
I think apologies in advance if it's tripe lately, or if it's been tripe all along.
We've been told that we're tripe anyway, so we're
Yeah.
just more tripe than we were.
I think we're trying our best with everything that's going on. Second trip across to Bristol in 2 days, needs must, but at least the office where we're going to with them, or the vets, it's a bit closer. It's not through the centre of Bristol,
Yeah.
through the clean air zone, which costs even more.
It does, yes. It is much closer than it used to be, so I suppose that is a plus point, isn't it? Poor old Dolly didn't have her breakfast this morning. She's not pleased. She thinks I forgot her. I feel terrible.
She likes her food, does Dolly?
She's half Labrador. Yeah, she's going to love her food. But yeah, stick with us. There'll be more there'll be more van content coming up really, really soon. As I think we we might have mentioned, we were going to go away in about a week's time. That's probably not going to be possible now because obviously Dolly's going to have stitches that need to be taken out. So that'll be slightly delayed, but we will be heading up to Scotland once Dolly has got the all clear from the vets. We are keeping our fingers so tightly crossed that the incontinence is not going to come back full force. But at the moment this is an emergency situation and this has to come out, otherwise it's life-threatening. We've got a couple of jobs we're going to do on the van coming up.
Yeah, we've got
with
a few
magic
jobs.
money that I'm going to print.
We've got a few jobs, and we've got a couple of little jobs that we've done, a few little upgrades, shall we call them. I've put in a couple of little gadgets which I think are really good, so I'll share that.
Yeah.
So I think normal tripe will be resumed in due course. So yeah, do bear with us.
Yeah, the rubbish that you're used to will be back with full force. And we're going to have a new kitchen in the van. Sounds nice, doesn't it?
It does,
And
yeah.
we're going to make it.
A whole new kitchen
Wow.
in the 1 metre kitchen space.
Yeah, because I've always quite fancied the idea. Motorhomes are lovely, but I love the camper van vibe. And when we sort of did the inside of it, it started to look a lot like a camper van. But I've always lusted after those camper van kitchens, you know, with the fancy tap and everything like that. And it was like, well, why don't we just take that out, not the full carcass, just the top, and we're going to switch ourselves over to what are those cookers, those hobs called?
Oh,
Blank minds.
hang on, it'll come, induction.
Induction hobs. We're going to put an induction hob in, but just a 2-burner one, and a new sink. But that should also clear some space on the work surface because at the moment it's taken up with a ridiculously big gas hob. Don't worry, we won't be doing the gas. Don't come for us.
No, I don't
We're
stretch
not
that far
doing the
with my
gas.
skills. No.
It's got a ridiculous big gas hob that I've never used all 3 burners at the same time. I barely use one at a time, and then to be honest, whoa! Nearly taken out my lorry
Sorry, that
there.
was an arsehole of a lorry driver.
Yeah,
Probably on his.
okay.
Yeah.
Probably on his phone. Yeah. So the gas hob will come out, and an induction hob will go in because we're trying, as we've mentioned before, to try and make the van more electricity rather than gas. Although we will still need gas for our water and our heating, but the plan is we're actually going to put in diesel heating as well.
Yeah, all of these lovely plants.
Yeah. I'm going to put redders out on the street to make the money.
Yeah,
Any takers?
I'll get one of my guitars. I think you meant go out busking, not out on the street looking,
Absolutely, I meant busking.
looking for business.
Yes, I meant busking. Okay, moving on swiftly. We'll see you further down the road. Right, we are on our way home. Dolly is not with us. She's having a operation today. It's quite a serious operation just to remove the entire implant, which has been in there about 4 years. So there's quite a lot of stuff in there that needs to come out. They will not release her until she has managed to do a wee on her own. I wish them good luck with that because she's quite a stubborn girl. And I can't imagine she's going to want to do that, but she's having an operation this afternoon. They had a couple of emergencies come in while we were there, but they need to quite urgently get the implant out. So that's us going home, minus Dolly. We should get her back tomorrow. I think the first time she had it put in, we didn't have her for 2 nights, so this is one less. It's a bit better.
Yeah, it's obviously a bigger procedure putting it in,
Yeah.
and attaching everything than it is just to, I assume,
Yes, taking it out.
unclip and take out.
Yeah. So we're missing her. We're missing her already. It's gonna be an awful another. Can't believe we're starting this year exactly the same way as we started last year.
It's madness, and even little Wilf knows he's not himself.
No, he's not. He's not happy that Dolly's gone. He likes everything to be the same, and he likes everyone to be where they should be, and they're not. So he's not very happy. Pippa's asleep, snoring, as only Pippa does. Back home, a few odds and ends to do, and just sitting around waiting for the phone call to say Dolly's been sorted and it's been successful. We hope. If you could all keep your fingers crossed, by the time I get this out, hopefully we should know a little bit more. So yeah, snow due tomorrow apparently.
Hey.
Oh, where are you
Look at
going?
this one, look at this
Hello.
one. Oh, prick.
All the nutters are on the motorway.
Whoops, sorry, bad language.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut that.
Sorry.
Yes, so there we go. Nothing really much more to say, other than we'll see you later. Okay, we're driving back, and obviously we had a little stop with family in Chepstow for a couple of hours just for a catch up and a cuppa. But we're driving home now, and Ivan's just rung. He's Dolly's specialist. The operation has been done. It's successful. The implant has been removed successfully, and the signs are looking pretty good.
Yeah,
So
it's looking good, and you know, one of our big worries was they'd remove the device and find something sinister that couldn't be seen on the scan.
or they removed the device and they couldn't, squeeze and anything come out. It's all looking really good.
Yeah, it's all looking good. The downside is we don't get her back until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or indeed until she's had a wee tomorrow, but she is stopping in overnight. But you know, it's an hour down the road, 2 hour round trip. Who cares? I go to Scotland and black it, it doesn't matter. But it's looking good and sounding good.
I think we're both feeling a bit better now after that phone call, aren't we?
Yeah, and you know, there's been a few other things on the sidelines that have been on our minds, which have now been put firmly to bed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's looking a lot better.
Yeah. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll stop this one here. I'll put it all together for you. Ooh, it's bouncy. We're just coming back into Bridgend now. Put it all together for you, and you will see what we've been up to. And I'm sorry, this has been mostly about Dolly, although there was the little bit on Bristol Downs yesterday where we showed you what they are calling in the press van dwellers. They're not calling them travellers, they're calling them van dwellers, and apparently, oops, you really are bouncing. They've been there quite some time. The enforcement went out to them in July and gave them notice to move, 14 days notice. That clearly worked not. They're all still there, and I think Bristol are going to have to do something. There we go. Anyway, tell us what you think in the comments about what's going on in Bristol. Is it going to start happening in other places? I was reading up about it, and apparently they'd interviewed some of the van dwellers, and a couple of them worked in the city but couldn't afford to live there, and said that's the only way they could afford to be near their jobs. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess in reality, even though they're parked up, they're still putting their back into the system. Their bit back into the system by taking away Jan paying.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's a really, really bad road.
Yeah,
the council tax should pay for this road.
Well, it should pay for the road. Plus, we're not in the motorhome. We're in.
Yeah, we're in the car.
We're in the car, and it's a little bit of a firmer ride than most cars.
It's definitely a firmer ride. Right, anyway, as we said, we'll leave it there. Next video will be coming very soon. We'll let you know how we're getting on, and we will talk further about those upgrades we're doing on the motorhome. So anyway, thanks for watching. As we said, please subscribe, please like, and please stick with us, keep watching, because that is going to help us pay for Dolly's bill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, please appreciate the tripe at the moment.
Bye.
Bye.